All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First off, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, and double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, love, salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with 144,000, the rest of the 1/3. Shalom. I'm the brother Ha'amayan from the Great Millstone, Columbus, Georgia Church, and I brought to this be an edifying lesson to the Lord, sincere sheep and believers. Just want to go in on I titled the lesson, Remember, Remain Reticent, man. You know, learn to be laconic, and a lesson for myself, and also, Lord willing, to be an edifying lesson to the Lord's believers, man, the sincere sheep. And for like newcomers, you know, our behavior is very important. You know, we don't want to, matter of fact, let me just get these definitions real quick. I got the definition for the word laconic.
Laconic.
And it says, of a person's speech or style of writing using very few words. Using very few words, man. So when, you know, we want to get straight to the point, or not say nothing at all at times, you know. And the word reticent goes into, it's an adjective. It says, disposed to be silent, disinclined to speak freely. It says, be silent, keep silent, man, you know. And this is how we want to be behaving when we're amongst the elders of the churches, you know, camp heads, you know, the order, men that's above you, man, you know. And I'm making this lesson more so, you know, Lord willing, like I said, it be edifying, because this matters. We don't want to be all over the place, just freely, just excessively point making, just over talking brothers. And, you know, we may interrupt a brother indirectly at times. You know, it's not purposely done, but more so like, you don't want to just be, because we're babes, so we want to behave like we want to come up the right way. And let me grab let me see. I know it's in Peter's. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2. Because I got a few precepts listed. It says 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Salakia, excuse me. It says, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby. And this is what you learn as a babe, man. You know, to listen. Ultimately, just, you know, listen, man. Be quiet. Listen. You don't know nothing. You know, just being honest. You know, we gotta learn. You know, gotta learn. Gotta grow. And we got examples. And I heard the elder Apostle Gabar speak about this a minute ago, and it never left my brain. And I try my best to apply this. You know, when you go around other churches, other men, even in your camp, it start in your own camp. Honestly, it start in your camp. You know, your heads. You know, first, second, third command. It goes like that. And amongst elders, when you go around other men, you know, want to be good examples, man. So let's get another one. Then I'm gonna go with the ones I got. This is Salakia. First Timothy chapter 3. It says, verse 5, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of the Most High? Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Because a lot of time when you over talking, you constantly talking, or you just, you know, you feel like your point matters or whatnot, and you're not remaining silent, or, you know, to learn, to listen, that pride get in the way. Now you can't be told nothing. And remember, the scripture just said you're a novice, man. And novice goes into a new convert, newly planted. You know, let me get the definition in the Held them online. And I don't plan on making this a long lesson. Just want to get straight to the point. A novice. The point is right here, it says beginner, newly arrived, new, inexperienced person. Beginner. You know, we're beginners. You fresh in. Somebody may just heard this truth yesterday, a month ago, a year ago. So now let's get to the precepts I got listed. Sirach 32. Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach, chapter 32, verse 7. It says, "Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art twice asked. Speak, young man, if there be need of thee." So a lot of times it's not a necessity. It's not expedient. It's not a needful thing to say something because you have a point. You know, like brothers always tell us, even when it comes to bringing out precepts, at camp, you may not bring out your precept. And I'm just making a point real quick. You can make a lesson about it. You know, you ain't got to force the spirit, because you may quench another brother's spirit. That brother on fire. You know, I got something. And these things we learn, though, and I'm learning this as a young man in the truth. I ain't been in the truth that long, 5 years. I'm a babe, man. I still got a lot to learn, man. So I want to come up the right way to please Yahweh Shema Shah. Verse 8, it says, "Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words." Reticent goes, be laconic, a few words. Going into laconic, using very few words. It says, "Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue." Because that means you understand. You applying it. You have the wisdom of the scriptures. You applying this thing. You know what I'm saying? It says, if thou be among great men, you around apostles, elders, bishops, camp heads, men that been in the faith for a lengthy time, men of experience, elders of the churches or whatnot. It says, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And because you don't want that familiarity. That familiarity, Bree could tell. I know the second command, I always harp on this. It taught me this when I first came in. You'll lose respect for people, man, because that familiarity. It says, and when ancient men are in place, use not many words, man. So bear with me real quick. Give me a second. Okay. So next we got Sirach chapter 5 and verse 10. It says, "Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Be swift to hear." Let's speak about that in the book of James. Be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer, man. That's why the scriptures say what? Another precept, if I can get to it. If I remember, I think it's Sirach 33. Yep, verse 4. "Prepare what to say, and so thou shalt be heard. Bind up instruction, and then make answer." You want to examine the whole matter. A lot of cases, even in the world, we want to be reticent, like talking to your boss man, talking to somebody. Listen more. That's what Yahweh Shai would do. We got to get more. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. That's a part of growth too, man. Our behavior is a thing we have to stay intact with. How we operate off camera, around brothers, especially off camera. When we get off the camera, on camera, off camera, how am I behaving, man? Am I being a pain in the butt? Is pride kicking in? Am I examining myself, or am I talking about it but not applying it? So let's go back to Sirach chapter 5. Sirach chapter 5 verse 11. verse 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. See? If thou hast the understanding, answer thy neighbor. We don't want that pride to kick in. Oh, brother, ask you a question. Oh, I know, but you don't understand. You don't understand it, though. You may know the answer, but you don't understand it. You know? Lay thy hand upon thy mouth. You know? Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall, man. That tongue, man. You know, we want to use few words, get straight to the point. We don't have to excessively point make, man. Like, come on, man. And once again, this is not a hit, a cut to nobody. It just, it's a reminder. You know, remember, remain reticent. And once again, I'm making this for myself, man. Sirach chapter 20 and verse 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise, and another by much babbling becometh hateful. Babbling, running your mouth. Let's see what babbling goes into. Babbling definition: the action the action or fact of talking rapidly and continuously in a foolish, excited, or incomprehensible way. Reticent goes into what? Comprehending much in few words. The scriptures, that's Sirach 32, comprehending much in few words. Let's go back to that, man. Let's go back to Sirach 32 real quick. Verse 8, let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue. And I'm trying my best to apply this even more, you know. Sirach 20 and 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise, and another by much babbling becometh hateful. Because when you applying the scripture, it says there is one that keepeth silent and is found wise. He's applying the scriptures. Some hold of his tongue because he have not to answer. And some keepeth silence knowing his time. It's all about timing. The head of our camp, the beautiful Ra'ash, man, the head of our church, the beautiful brother Ira, he pushed this, man, because he applies this. That brother, and this just ain't for our camp. I'm pretty sure every camp brothers exhort the flock through their experiences, because they only telling you what the scriptures say, man. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time, man. Making it about you. That's not the point. You know, want to be examples for the newcomers too. Ultimately, the main viewer is Yahweh Shema Shai. We want to be pleasing Yahweh Shema Shai, but we're in the body, man. We're in the church. We're in the camp, so we want to be on point. You know, perfect timing. And the third command of our account, that, you know, not to blow smoke up the brother, but, you know, through the spirit, a beautiful gift he had. He's very on point with timing, man. And I always tell that brother that the third command, I learned a lot from the beautiful brother Khan, man. You know, that's his name. Khan goes into grace. Proverbs 18 and 13. And I'm gonna close out. Like I say, you know, meant to make it long. Just want to get straight to the point. Proverbs, what was it? Proverbs 18 and 13. Cause these things matter too, man. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. You been done just spoke out of turn, just motor mouth, running. In this NLT, it says spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish, man. You ever been judged a matter unwisely? You know? Proverbs 17, verse 27 and 28. It says, let me make sure that's the precept I had. Yep. It says, he that have knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding, man. You know, so we want to be careful. You know, we want to be careful, man. Want to operate, you know, in the right manner, man. Read the room. You know, So that's pretty much what I had for this lesson. You know, Aparatazai was an edifying lesson to the Lord since the sheep of believers. I would like to close out by giving all glory, honor, and infinite praise unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash, and double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, love, salutations to the hopeful elect. To the next time, Kwam Yasha Allah. Keep the faith. Shalom, Lahabakayim. To the elect, Shalom.